You're on the Unpopular Opinion Show with Johnny Caruso. Welcome to the show. Hey, welcome to the show. UOS, the Unpopular Opinion Show. I'm your host, Johnny Caruso. I'm going to just run down the rules of the road. If this is your first time tuning into the channel, if you look up here to the right, you will see the timestamp. You could just skip right into the video, but we only got one video for you, so this should be pretty quick. And at the end of the video, I'm gonna give you my unpopular opinion of the day. And hey, hope you like the show. Let's get into it.
Ready, Delaney? All right. Good morning. The information I'm about to provide is preliminary and subject to change. I'm going to brief you on a shooting incident that occurred earlier this morning in the Crown Heights neighborhood of Brooklyn. The details are as follows. At approximately 3:27 a.m., the 911 call center started receiving multiple 911 calls about a shooting inside of 903 Franklin Avenue, which is a lounge known as Taste of the City. Officers arrived within minutes of the first 911 calls and found numerous gunshot victims inside of the location. Currently, we have identified 11 victims ranging in age from 27 to 61, 8 males and 3 females. 3 of the victims have already been pronounced: 1 male age 27, 1 male age 35, and 1 male of an unknown age. The 8 remaining victims are at local area hospitals with what is being described right now as non-life-threatening injuries. We are withholding victims' names pending family notifications, and the investigation into this incident is ongoing. What we know preliminarily is that there was a dispute inside of the crowded club that led to the shooting. We have multiple shooters involved in this shooting, and we have recovered at least 36 shell casings so far from what appears to be multiple guns. At this time, no one is in custody. Our detectives are canvassing available CCTV video in and around the location. Our detectives have also recovered a firearm in the vicinity of Bedford Avenue and Eastern Parkway. We're investigating at this time whether this firearm was tied to the shooting incident. I'll now take a few brief questions.
Any questions?
All right, you heard that. Now, this is the part of the show where I give my unpopular opinion. Obviously, that was real news, you know. There was no spin or bias there. They were just reporting the news. But I do want to give a take on the nightclub shooting. Now they're calling it mass shootings, and they need to call them mass shootings. You see, the narrative before was if it wasn't a long-armed gunman going into the school shooting somebody up, which happens, I don't know, maybe once every 2 months in this country, then it's not a mass shooting. Like, that was mass shooting. And it always had to be in conjunction with the long firearm and Democrats up on the Hill trying to confiscate those particular guns, which have to do with recreational most of the time with those people having those guns, hunting, fishing, that type of lifestyle. If you're a country boy, you already know. But what the Democrats never would confess to you is taking short guns away, or handguns being the number one cause of death when it comes to shootings. And mass shootings, I think the definition 2, 3, 4 more people. I mean, hell, every weekend in Chicago, every weekend in the major city in the United States, there's a mass shooting. And I have solutions. These aren't just opinions. But my unpopular opinion would be, what are we doing with these kids from grades 9 to 12 that we know they're not going to go to college? They don't have money for college. People know they're strapped selling drugs. Some of them trying to make a living for their parents, right? What are we doing with them? Just keep shuffling pushing them out of school or to college, that from 9 to 12, there needs to be, look, we need to keep kids at school as long as we can. Don't let them out at 2 while the parents don't get home till 5, right? From 2 until 6, they need to be their butts in school. Let's give these parents some help here. Put the kids in school at 7. Give the parent, or 8, give the parent time to get to a 9 to 5. Let the parent get off at 5. Then go pick them up at 6. And that's perfect time after school from 4 or from 2 until 6. They could be learning 2 trades, not 1, but 2 trades. They could be learning behavior programs. And not just behavior, but let's put these kids in situations. Hey, you're coming out the store. You see this girl's girlfriend. What are you going to do? Well, he's going to say, oh, what up, girl? He's going to holler at her. He's going to look at her. Look, let me explain to you why this is incorrect behavior. And then if dude said, man, you disrespected me, I'll blast you. What you going to do? You're going to up it on them, right? Like, these kids are living a movie, real life. And their life don't have to be that serious. Most of these deaths are between teenagers who, not 12, 13 years old to 19-year-old, the teens. That's where most of these deaths are coming from. And it's senseless. It don't have to be. There's a lot of emotional stuff with the gun saying it's going to solve everything. These kids think they're smart because they got a gun. The gun don't make you smart. And for all these lobbyists up on Capitol Hill, saying America has too many guns. Well, there's a large population of Americans who have guns that don't go around killing each other. And y'all know what I'm talking about. The issue isn't the gun. If a Toyota Camry, a drunk driver, kills somebody, are we going to protest against Toyota Camrys? Chevrolet pickup trucks, Fords, Escalades. We're going to protest when those DUI drivers get behind those vehicles and kill somebody. Are we going to ban all sales of these vehicles? Because I bet if you look, they kill many people every year, but they don't kill. The people behind the vehicle kills. Anything could be a weapon. Okay? So banning the gun, which is mostly illegal in Democratic cities anyway, that have the highest crime rates anyway, isn't going to solve the problem anyway. You got to work with these kids so that they understand life and live a good life. Learn to walk away from shit. Like, if somebody don't put their hands on you, look, we got to learn to dismiss words and go about our business. Because if you believe you're a locomotive, you're a train, you believe you're someone going somewhere, well, you can't let a little mouse derail you, man. You got to keep that thing on trucking. And I think a lot of these young kids have so much potential. They're a huge locomotive, bright, full of ideas and want to go places. But they're letting this little squeaky mouse come and the whole train just jump off the track and derail them. And it's them against each other with this nonsense. We have to intervene as a society, because a society is only as strong as its weakest link. Remember that. My dad once told me, the same people you meet when you're successful going up the ladder, you're going to meet those same people coming down the ladder. Well, what's the point here? The point is, as a society in a whole, we're only strong collectively. We're only as strong as our weakest link. And what other countries think of the U.S. is our weakest link. Politics, they don't get it over there that we have 2 coins of the side in politics. So they might hear one version of it and think they got the whole scoop. But another thing is, they think they got the whole scoop how all of America is. So, look, we gotta come together collectively. This is an us problem. White, black, Chinese, Hispanic. This isn't an us problem. And don't be sold on a politician who wants to ban guns, because they're doing something that they know the other side is not going to agree to, because the other side has common sense to know that's not a solution. And so they want to just keep that, well, we put it out there, they voted against it, so we win. Don't fall for that. As people, we need to look, the schools. If these, and honestly, these public schools aren't going to do it, but we need to create schools that are going to keep the kids long enough for the parents to go out there and make a living, right? And I have to worry about dropping off and picking up. And the extra time is going to be used to give our kids skills. You know what I mean? There's grade schools. If you want to go on to college and have that experience, good for you. But some of us need to go feed our mama right now, because dad done left, and mama has to be mama and dad, and she has an attitude and emotions left and right, and she's never home watching me. Well, maybe I can help her make some money real quick without selling drugs, right? Without, pressing somebody like, hey, this is real. And collectively, we need to get together. We need to come up with schools that when parents put their kids in these schools, it's understood. They're getting extra learning here into trades. They're going to, my little brother, he wanted to play college football, but he wasn't good enough to get a scholarship. And in 11th grade, he was bringing home D's and C's when he had all A's and B's. I told him, you see Joe the mechanic? That's going to be you, Joe the mechanic. Because after high school, all your little friends and buddies, they're going to college. Their parents could afford that. We can't afford college for you. So if you don't want to be Joe the mechanic, you're not good enough in football, I had to tell them, to get an academic scholarship. But if you want to continue to play football, that's how I hit them with, why do I want to go to college anyway? I said, if you want to continue to play football, you need to get an academic scholarship. In Louisiana, they have the TOPS program. You're going to make like all A's and 1B. He asked his guidance counselor at the beginning of the year, what do I got to do to get the TOPS? She laughed, chuckled, and said, Justin, you're going to make all A's and a B. He said, I'll see you in January. That son of a gun did it. That son of a gun went on to a small, I think it was Arkansas Monticello, and played D1 college football. They came in Baton Rouge and whooped Southern University. Southern paid them $60,000 to come and whoop them on their home turf. And I got to watch my brother. Justin Downs, did a good, sweet interception in that game. No, he never went on to play professional ball. But guess what he did do? He got his bachelor's, right? And he went and got his master's. Now, he didn't have no money for a master's, but the company he knew he wanted to work with, the small business SCBA in Louisiana, they were willing to pay for him to get his master's. So he did internship with them for the 2 years, and in return, they paid for his master's. When he got out with his master's, they started paying him real money at the SCBA job. And because he was the only one in the building besides his boss with the master's, they moved him up to number 2 in that building. Well, his boss is the head SCBA of all of the state. By default, that made him number 2 in all of the state, already making a 6-figure job. You see, there's ways to finesse the system, but he didn't really probably know all the ins and outs, but he was headed in the right direction. You see, when you're going down the 2 different paths in life, and you come to a fork in the road, there's going to be a path with lots of opportunity, lots of hanging fruit. As you're going down this river, you might miss a banana or apple, but there's plenty of bananas and apples along the way for you to catch hold, and you'll get something. You'll get a hold of something, and your life will be fruitful. But down the other path, there's nothing to hold on to but your pride, and you're gonna get shot or go to jail because of it. That's it. There's nothing over there. And so a lot of these kids in the inner cities, they know that, but they don't see no other opportunity, nothing. Okay, you're telling me this, but what are you showing me? What are you giving me? Taking long arm guns away ain't gonna help me. Like, what are you doing for me? So we need to get them while they're in the school in an environment that they ain't going nowhere. And then they come home with not just school experience, but a experience that's applied experience to life. You know, you can go become a plumber at HVAC, right? The guy who services these apartments where I live at, in this unit, in this condo unit, he makes $500,000 a year. He subcontracts to the landlord here, to other property managers, and he works all by himself. Now, he started out making 12, 14, 15 an hour under somebody. But after 2 years, he got an LLC for $150 and did his own thing. In any service businesses, HVAC, electrical, plumbing. Me, I'm pressure washing and window cleaning for car dealerships, the open showroom floor windows, car dealerships, pressure washing. And I just got my realtor license this year. I'm waiting for interest rates to come down. I think we all are, so we can make some money. But the thing is, you got to get in somewhere and do, catch a hold of a bunch of things. Doing a lot of bad is just going to end up with a lot of bad at the end of the day for you. Doing a lot of good, whether it's little things here and there, it's going to add up for you. So that's my take on this. These things will continue to happen, and until we collectively put the right solutions, like look, we can't put all the onus on the parents. You know what I mean? The truth is, we need to create an environment for these kids early, because at the end of the day, there's always going to be a few rotten apples among us. But it does matter how many rotten apples we got among us. And we got to stop just saying, oh, that's just a few, because it's no longer just a few. All right. So look, that was my take. You're on the Unpopular Opinion Show. I'm your host, Johnny Caruso. Please give me a subscribe, like, and share the channel. Until next then, peace, love, and happiness.